SwayamPrabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Dear students, you are welcome in this class. I am Dr. Dinesh Kumar, Principal Scientist from Division of Agronomy, ICAR, Indian Agricultural Research Institute, Pusa, New Delhi. The topic of the lecture in the course Agronomy of Oilseed, Fiber and Sugar Crops is Origin, History, Spread, Climate, Soil, Morphology, Improved Varieties and Cultural Requirement of Sunflower. Learning objectives of this lecture are to explain the origin, history, spread, climate and soil requirement of sunflower crop, and also to detail the morphology, improved varieties and cultural requirement of sunflower crop. Some difficult words: contact herbicide. Herbicide that causes injury to only the plant tissues to which it is applied, means only to which it is applied, or a herbicide that is not appreciably translocated. It is not translocated in the plant system. Deep tillage, tillage deeper than that needed to produce loose soil for seed bed, usually used to loosen a compacted soil. Then emulsion, one liquid suspended as minute globules in another liquid. For example, oil dispersed in water. Oil dispersed in water, it makes an emulsion. Altitude, a topographic eminence or a specific altitude or height above a given level is your altitude. Biofortification, process by which nutritional quality of food crops is improved through agronomic practices or through crop breeding practices is biofortification, means enriching the grains with certain nutrients. Biological pest control, the introducing beneficial living organism to reduce a pest population or its impact. For example, use of insects can be done for biological pest control, nematodes, mites, fungi, bacteria, viruses, plants, vertebrates, and of course some other living organisms. Next is your fallow land. Fallow means fields left idle on which vegetative growth is controlled by tillage or herbicides to accumulate water and or mineral nutrients. Fertilizer analysis, the percentage composition of a fertilizer as determined in a laboratory. Fertilizer requirement, the quantity of certain plant nutrients needed to increase nutrient availability in the soil with the objective of increasing the plant growth to a designated level. Mostly we want to have optimal growth of the plants. Foliar fertilization, application of a dilute solution of fertilizer to a plant foliage, mostly on the leaves, and usually made to supplement soil applied nutrients. No-till, planting crop seed directly into the stubble with no more soil disturbance, means without any tillage, then is necessary to get the seed into the soil. Now we start the cultivation of the sunflower crop, and in the beginning let us see the importance of this crop. So it is important for human consumption as it gives us high quality edible oil. Apart from its oil as the main product, several diversified uses of sunflower are exploited. Sunflower seed is considered as a functional food and one that provides benefits beyond basic nutrition. There is a growing interest in non-oilseed sunflower as a snack food, besides the increasing demand of sunflower as bird feeds due to its preference by many species of the birds. So it has very wide uses. With growing allergic reactions to popular peanut or butter, sunflower butter is gaining popularity. Sunflower with their high pollen and nectar flowers, a longer period flowering with multiple flower heads and adaptation to different seasons and soils is a major dependable source for honeybees and apiary industry. So therefore, it is very important crop for beekeeping or honeybees. Few species of sunflower are economically important as ornamentals to a limited extent. Means some of the sunflower species can be used for ornamental purposes in gardens or houses. Sunflower plants can also be used as green fodder and making of silage for animals. Sunflower meal is actually the kind of cake which is obtained after extraction of the oil. So sunflower meal is a high protein byproduct of the sunflower seed after extraction of oil from the seed. It is an excellent ration for ruminants, although it is deficient in lysine. Lysine is an essential amino acid. Sunflower hulls can be utilized as roughage, source of extender, but are low in nutrient content, poorly digested and generally unpalatable. But hulls are also utilized as bedding litter material, particularly for the bedding of livestock. These hulls can be used. Sunflower also eats natural red food colorant, the coloring material derived from purple hulled sunflower flour and protein isolates for food products, pectin and sunflower oil as an energy source in fuels. In India, the thalamus is the bigger base. After threshing and seed removal is used as protein-rich feed supplement to milch animals. So milch animals means the animals which are giving the milk. Now origin and history. Sunflower scientific name is Helianthus annuus, is one of the four most important annual oilseed crops in world along with soybean, rapeseed and groundnut. Sunflower is a member of the Asteraceae family. So this is important to remember. Name of the family is Asteraceae and the genus is Helianthus, and it is named from the Greek word helios. Helios meaning sun and anthos meaning flower, means flower which is facing the sun. The Spanish name of sunflower girasol and the French name tournesol literally means turned with the sun. Although of North American origin, this sunflower is mostly of North American origin, where it was domesticated by the Native American Indians for its edible seed. The transformation of the sunflower into a major oilseed crop took place only in the second half of the 20th century. Archaeological evidence reveals that the use of sunflower among American Indians. Wild Helianthus annuus was used for food by the Native American Indians, and due to its association with humans, it became a camp-following weed that was introduced into the central part of the USA. The earliest evidence of domesticated sunflower has been dated back to 4625 BC. That means it is a very old crop. The domesticated sunflower was introduced from North America into Europe by the early Spanish explorers in 1510 AD. After its introduction to Spain, the sunflower plant moved to Italy and France. The migration of sunflower eastward in Europe occurred during the 17th century. The sunflower was introduced into Russia in the 18th century by Peter the Great, and the original seed came from the Netherlands. So you can see this is how it is spread from Northern America to Central America and to Europe and also in Asia and Russian Federation. During the period 1830 to 1840, the manufacture of oil began on a commercial scale in Russia. Then it has become a very important crop by then in Russia. A cultivar named Giant Russian was introduced in India during 1905, probably similar to the cultivar that was introduced to USA as a Mammoth Russian. So basically this sunflower crop came to India from Russia. The experiments concluded that yields were too low to make sunflower a regular oilseed crop in India. Initially actually, But later in 1969, sunflower varieties of Russia origin like VNIIMK8931, which is EC68413. This EC means exotic collection. Then Peredovic EC68414, Armavirsky 3497, it was EC68415, and Armawurz, which was EC68474, were introduced into the country. And then they were straightway started cultivation of these varieties. Now see the world area, production and productivity of sunflower. In the first column we have different years like 1974, 81, 91, 2001, 2011, 2018 and up to 2020. Now let us see second column in which area in million hectare is given. 1 million hectare means 10 to the power 6. So here you can say in 1974 in world, the area of sunflower was 9.37 million hectare, which started increasing in next decade. Say in 1981 it became 12.28 million hectare and then continue to increase, and by now in year 2020 it has become almost 3 times than what was there in 1974. So currently in year 2020 the sunflower area in the world is 27.87 million hectare. Now coming to the production is also increasing continuously. You can see the trend of increase in production of sunflower. In 1974 it was 11.25, and then in 2020 you can see it has become 50.23 million tons, which is almost 4 times or more than 4 times what it was produced in 1974. Now coming to the last column, which is productivity or yield. So yield also increase consistently and continuously. You can see with time there is increase in the yield, and initially in 1974, for example, it was 1201 kilogram per hectare, which increased to 1167 kilogram per hectare in 1981, and it continuously increased up to 2019 when it was highest, which was 2049 kilogram per hectare seed yield of sunflower. But then in 2020 it decreased to 1802 kilogram per hectare. So currently you can say its productivity is 1802 kilogram per hectare. Now see 5 important nations that produce sunflower during 2020. This data pertains to year 2020, which is the latest data. So you can see highest area is in Russian Federation, which is about 8.39 million hectare. Then number 2 is Ukraine, which had area about 6.48 million hectare in 2020, and followed by Argentina, Romania, and then Tanzania. So far production is concerned, Russian Federation had the highest production of 13.31 million tons, followed by Ukraine 13.11 million ton, and then Argentina 3.23 million tons, Romania 2.2 million tons, and Tanzania 1.07 million ton. Coming to the productivity, you can say Argentina. Among these countries, Argentina has the highest productivity, 2,114 kilograms per hectare, followed by Ukraine, which has productivity of more than 2,000 kilogram per hectare, and Russian Federation has productivity of 1,586 kilogram per hectare, and Romania has productivity of 1,840 kilogram per hectare. So overall, from this slide, we can conclude that Russian Federation had largest area and largest production. However, productivity was more in Ukraine, more in Argentina. Now, area production and yield of sunflower in India. So in first column we have year 1976-77, and it went up to 2020-23. You can check here, and then area in million hectare. So in 1976-7 area was just 0.25 million hectare. Then it started increasing, and it became 2.11 million hectare in 91-92, and then again there was a decrease in area, and it continued to decrease, and now at present area under sunflower cultivation in India is just 0.36 million hectare. And coming to production, production is almost increased, has almost increased from 1976-7 up to, you can say, 2001 and 2, and then there was a fall in production. And currently production of sunflower in India in year 2022-23 was 0.36 million tons. So this is the current status of production of sunflower in the country. Coming to yield in kilogram per hectare, you can see yield also progressed and increased continuously up to, you can say, 2021. In 2021, it was 1011 kilogram per hectare, which was actually 541 in 1976-77. So during this period, you can say yield roughly doubled. And then there is further decline in yield of sunflower from 2021 to 21-22 and 22-23. So currently you can say the yield of sunflower is roughly around 1000 kilogram per hectare, to be exact 996 kilogram per hectare. Now, factors favoring spread in 80s in India. So sunflower was a new crop, and we know varieties were introduced from Russia directly, and those varieties were grown in the country. But there was slow and steady increase in area under sunflower in the country. So there were some factors which favored the spread of this crop in 80s in India. So what were those reasons or factors? So first was wider adaptability of crop to a wide range of agroclimatic conditions and soil types. First one. Second one, photoperiod insensitivity. So actually this is a day neutral plant. It does not need longer days or shorter days. It can flower under various conditions. So overcoming the seasonal restriction for its cultivation. Therefore, in India, soybean can be cultivated round the year in some places. And it is of shorter duration, 75 to 110 days, and high yield potential of seed, and oil is high quality oil with high polyunsaturated fatty acid. As we know, the polyunsaturated fatty acids are better for our health than saturated fatty acids. So high seed multiplication is also there, more than 1:100. Now, ease and low cost of cultivation, this was yet another reason for its spread, and low seed rate is required, and no specialized operations, and low water requirement of the crop, and non-branched and determinate plant type with a single head supports mechanical harvesting. And finally, it supported apiary and bird feeding besides human aesthetic and many ecosystem services. So therefore, you can see, and you have already seen, that in 80s it is spread very fast in the country. Now see top 5 states producing sunflower for the year 22-23, that is 2022 and 23. So you can see Karnataka is the major state. Karnataka had highest area in 22-23, which was 0.25 million hectare, and production was also highest in the country, 0.235, and yield was of course not as much as in other states, but yield here in Karnataka was 954 kilogram per hectare. In Maharashtra, you can see next important state, the area was 0.03 million hectare, and with a production of 0.015 million ton and productivity of 497. Now you can see the yield, the productivity of this crop in different states. So we find that Haryana had the highest productivity among these states, and the next state was Odisha, which produced about 1255 kg per hectare seed of sunflower, and Andhra Pradesh also got 833 kilogram per hectare yield, and Maharashtra got the lowest yield in all these states, which was 497 kilogram per hectare. So overall, you can see that highest area and production of sunflower in India is in Karnataka, and the highest productivity of this crop is in Haryana, which is having 1,745 kilogram per hectare sunflower yield. Now coming to the taxonomy, which is kind of classification, the use of randomly amplified polymorphic DNA, which is commonly called as RAPD markers, supported the hypothesis that wild Helianthus anus was the progenitor of cultivated sunflower. Further studies using allozymic variation concluded that wild Helianthus anus from the Great Plains include the most likely progenitor of domesticated sunflower. More recent results based on genetic relation between wild and extant domestication support the hypothesis that extant domesticated sunflowers arose from wild population in the central part of the USA, or you broadly call it Northern America. Other investigators usually QTL analysis have studied the identity of traits that were primary targets of a strong selection during domestication. Basic chromosome number of cultivated sunflower is N is equal to 17. The genus includes diploid, tetraploid and hexaploid species also. The new classification brings the number of species to 51 with 14 annual and 37 perennial species under this sunflower. Botanical classification given on the next slide, you can check it. It is like this. So, it belongs to kingdom Plantae, division Eudicot and subdivision Asterids, order is Astrales, family is Asteraceae and subfamily is Helianthoideae and tribe is Helianthi and genus is Helianthus and species is Anus. Therefore, its scientific name is Helianthus anus L. Now, we will discuss the morphology. Morphology here, the external appearance of different plant parts, shoot and root of this crop, and we will see the morphology of root, stem, leaf, flower and seed. So, first see the root system, how it looks. Root system comprising a central main taproot. Because it is a dicot plant, therefore, it is going to have one main taproot with extensive lateral roots. The taproot is very short, it is not very long, often limited to the top 20 to 30 centimeter depth, and the laterals means side branches of the roots are extensive and restricted to the top layers. So, this type of shallow taproot limits the basic anchorage means support for the plant to support high plant mass, which often results in lodging, especially in the light soils and strong winds. So, this kind of distribution where most of the roots are confined to the upper surface of the soil, then the plants will tend to lodge. Lodging can happen due to winds. It limits for exploitation of soil moisture and nutrients from deeper soil layers. This is yet another limitation of shallower roots. The concentration of lateral roots on the surface necessitates a higher frequency of irrigation, because roots cannot go deeper to extract the soil moisture. Now, dear students, you can check the pattern of the root growth here in sunflower. You can see the left side picture, black and white. Here you are seeing that the one taproot is going and the branching is confined to the surface area. You can see branching is confined to the surface area. Similar pattern you can see on the right side also. You got one main taproot which is very shorter, and you got some laterals here. The surface laterals are affected during intercultivation. This is another problem when you go for earthing up or cultivation or tillage in between the rows to support the plant with extra soil aiming to control weeds and to retain rain irrigation water in deeper channels. Means if you are doing inter-row cultivation in this crop, then it is likely that the surface roots will be damaged. Sunflower is tolerant to moisture stress but highly sensitive to water logging. Up to some extent, it can tolerate moisture stress, but it is very susceptible to water logging. Now, see the morphology of the stem. Cultivated sunflowers are monoheaded. Monoheaded means they will produce one head or capitulum and typically unbranched. Most of the varieties or species here you will find single stem. There is very less branching. Green stem up to maturity. This is important. The stem of sunflower remains green up to maturity, which contributes to the total pool of photosynthesis, because it also does photosynthesis. and though lower leaves sense with plant growth. So lower leaves of course dry up. Stem dimension and development are often influenced by the environment and by the plant population. If plant population is less, you can have thicker stem. If plant population is more, then you can have slightly thinner stem. You can see the stem here, it is kind of a spiny stem, small. Here you can check here, and also it is green in color, this stem of the sunflower. You can see the stem part here, and it will bear only one head on the top, and you are seeing the arrangement of the leaves here. On the right side also you can see the stem of the sunflower. So both tall and short plants with many internodes have thick stems because of the positive association between internode number and stem thickness. So stems that are short because of fewer internodes are thinner. The stem length of commercial sunflowers from ground level to the head varies from 50 to 500 centimeter, and stem diameter from 1 to 10 centimeter. So you can see lot of variability exists in the length of the stem as well as in the thickness of the stem. Now branching in sunflower is of two types. One is basal branching, wherein few branches emerge from the base with a terminal inflorescence supported by leaves on the branch. But this can be very smaller kind of inflorescence. Leaf axial branching, where a branch will arise at each leaf axis on main stem terminating with a small head. The branching character is of particular interest in seed production program. So branch types are frequently used as male parents. So wherever you got branching, some are used as male parent or R line. R line is restorer line in commercial seed production program for continuous pollen supply. In a pure genetic stock of commercial hybrids, the branch plants are supposed to be nil. Damage to the growing tip during early vegetative stage, say 3 to 4 weeks stage, leads to the development of branches due to loss of apical dominance. Now we see the morphology of the leaf. The number, size and shape of leaves vary with the plant type and the growing environment, means varieties and environment affect the number, size and shape of the leaves. Cultivated sunflowers are determinate plant types, and the number of leaves on the stem or branch is limited to the number of nodes, because each node will bear one leaf. Leaves are single, borne at nodes on stem having petiole and lamella. So this part is petiole, you can see this is petiole, and this is lamina part of the leaf. Arranged alternatively, this is important, they are not in opposite, they are alternatively at right angles, means at 90-degree angle at the beginning, and at later stage they follow a particular phyllotaxy. Phyllotaxy means arrangement of leaves, which varies with the plant type. The leaves are mostly green. Occasionally some young leaves, petioles, veins and flower bracts have purple. This purple color can come due to accumulation of anthocyanin pigment. So pigmentation that serves as a marker character. One can identify certain varieties also. Now we see the flower, the disc-shaped head called the capitulum. Capitulum is borne terminally on the main stem and branches. The capitulum is also the racemose head and is surrounded by one or more holes or bracts, collectively described as involucres, which are modified leaves. The capitulum is considered to be one of the most advanced type of inflorescence found in the family Asteraceae. The capitulum consists of an outer hole means kind of layer of showy and generally yellow ray florets. Ray florets are normally sterile. They will not produce seed, having a rudimentary pistil and vestigial style and stigma, but no anthers. Therefore, these kind of ray florets are not fertile. The main function of ray florets of sunflower is to attract honeybees and pollinators. Now you can see the picture of flower here. So this part is called as receptacle, you can see, and you can also see the peduncle, the base. You can see the filiary system here, and disc florets. These kind of florets, they are true flowers. These are disc florets, and you also see some chaff, and you see the ray florets. These are called as ray florets. So on the left side also you can see these are ray florets. These are ray florets, and here you see these are true flower or disc florets. So flowers over the remainder of the large discoidal head are called as disc flowers. A single disc flower is referred to as a floret. Sunflower florets are epigynous. Epigynous means petals and stamens attached at the summit of an ovary. The disc flower is perfect, contains both stamens and pistil. Perfect here also means they contain both male and female sex organs. The corolla of each floret is composed of 5 fused petals except at the tip. Now you can see one structure of a floret of sunflower. So on the right side you can see this is ray floret which has bract, sepal is also there, part of calyx, and this is corolla which attracts the honeybees and other pollinators. Now you see disc floret. This disc floret has both male and female sex organs, and it will produce the seeds. So you can see bract is there on the base, one bract is there, and you can see this is ovary, and then you see the sepals, part of the calyx, and this is corolla, and you also see anthers here, and then style, and then finally you see stigma on the top. So these are different parts of a sunflower disc floret. Inside the corolla tube, 5 fused anthers form a second tube with separate filament attached to the base. Enclosed in the anther tube is the style is enclosed, which terminates distally in a bilobed stigma. You see, stigma is bilobed. 2 lobes are there that curls outward above the anther tube. The receptive surface of stigma is in close contact in the bud stage before the flowers open. Head diameter is an important yield attributing factor in sunflower, which is essentially the area of disc floret of the capitulum. It varies from 6 to 75 centimeter. The size, the head diameter varies from 6 to 75 centimeters depending upon the genotype, competition and environment, nutrition and irrigation. So number of factors will affect the diameter of the capitulum or head. Now coming to the morphology of the seed, the fruit commonly known as the sunflower seed is actually achene. Each disc floret can develop into an achene. Achene is the name of the seed here. Seed yield in sunflower is product of the number of weight of fertile seeds produced per head. How many seeds are produced per head? The color of the seed varies depending on the genotypes from black to grey white, but brown, striped or mottled seeds also occur. So number of shades, number of colors occurs in the seed. So you can see on the right side the seed colors of sunflower. The seed is roughly of diamond shape and usually within the range of 7 to 25 millimeter long, 4 to 13 millimeter wide and 3 to 7.5 millimeter thick. Seeds within the individual head decrease in size, weight and viability from the rim to the center. Means when you move from outside the flower to the inside to the center of the flower or disc, the size of the seeds decreases. Now you can see more colors of the seed of sunflower here, some variations, black color, light coffee color and so on. Now coming to the climatic requirement of this crop, distribution ranges from 40 degrees south to 55 degree north latitude. This is how it is distributed. However, the best performance is seen only between 20 to 50 degree north and 20 to 40 degree south latitude. The altitude range for the crop ranges up to 2500 meter above the mean sea level, and the best performance of the crop is seen at altitudes below 1500 meter above the mean sea level. Sunflower can be considered a day neutral plant, as the effect of photoperiod on sunflower is negligible compared to the influence of other environmental factor like temperature. So day neutral plant here means it can set the seed in any day length. Day length does not affect the flowering and seed setting in sunflower plant. The optimum temperature for sunflower is 20 to 25 degrees centigrade. The pleasant kind of temperatures are required by sunflower, but a range varies from 8 to 34 degrees centigrade is tolerated without significant yield reduction, indicating adaptation to the regions with warm days and cold nights. So that is why we have its wider distribution across the regions and across the seasons. A strong relationship exists between the linoleic acid content in the seed and daily minimum temperature from flowering to harvest, with high night temperature being especially important for concentration of linoleic in the oil. Linoleic acid increases as the temperature during development decreases, while the converse produces an increase in oleic acid. So actually temperature is regulating the quality of the oil, the type of fatty acid that will be there in the oil. So plant height, head diameter and 1000 seed weight were also negatively affected as the planting date was delayed. So therefore it may thus be necessary to relate the time of sowing to the temperature at flowering when a particular type of oil is required. So we can manipulate the quality of the sunflower oil by manipulating the planting time. As a rule of thumb, it is suggested that sunflower is grown under a cool growing period followed by a warm period during maturity. So we should manipulate our sowing time in such a way that cool period is experienced during the growing period, and during the maturity we get warmer period. Sunflower is considered to be drought tolerant, but oil yield is substantially reduced if the crop faces moisture stress during the main growth period and at flowering. So we have to maintain right moisture percentage in the soil or moisture content in the soil to get the improved quality of its oil. Rainfall between 500 and 750 millimeter evenly spread over the growing period and ceasing just before main flowering and seed filling will normally produce a good crop in heavy texture soils. Sunflower is susceptible to excess soil moisture, and the degree of damage is directly related to the duration of the waterlogging. So we should not allow waterlogging in any case in this crop. Even a short period of waterlogging, say for 2 to 3 days, affects the young plants relatively more severely, but such periods are less damaging than a single long period of 7 to 10 days of waterlogging that result in total wilting of crop and lodging. So the losses by waterloggings are also affected by the stage of the crop. Particularly, it is more susceptible to waterlogging during the initial phases, particularly in the seedling phase or vegetative phase. Flooding reduces root respiration and affects the nutrient uptake and photosynthesis. So what happens when waterlogging is there on the soil? The air or oxygen present in the soil will come out, and there will be shortage or deficiency of oxygen in the soil, and roots will not be able to respire. Respiration of the roots will be stopped, and thus the nutrient uptake or water uptake will be affected. If such kind of flooding or waterlogging continues for a long period, then the crop will dry up or it can die also. Sunflower plants are susceptible to wind damage from half grown onwards, more so when irrigated, as most soil gives less support. Hailstorms damage whole plants at the young stage, while mature plants can tolerate the leaf damage and recover if they are not lodged. The hail directly damages the heads at the post-filling stage, and the loss can be very, very severe. Now we go to the soil requirements. What kind of soil is best for this crop? So sunflower can be grown on a wide range of soils, starting from soil orders like vertizols, alphizols, inceptizols, antizols, with a texture varying from sandy loam to deep clays. Sunflower roots proliferate along the line of least resistance, and thus compacted zones are not exploited by the roots, limiting the plant's access to water and nutrient. So in any case, soil compaction should not be there, because if soils are compacted, then the root growth is adversely affected. Sunflower is more susceptible to waterlogging than low soil fertility. Sunflower grows well on neutral to moderately alkaline soils with a pH range of 6.5 to 8, but do not tolerate highly acidic conditions. So it is better to grow sunflower, say, in soils where pH ranges from 6.5 to 8. Salinity affects plant growth, development, and nutrient uptake, and some seed characteristics like oil content. Salinity can also reduce resistance to diseases, particularly macrophomina and charcoal rots. So wherever possible, it should not be grown in saline soils where you get high concentration of soluble sodium salts. Seedlings are sensitive to salt concentration, especially under irrigation, when a surface accumulation of salt can occur. Considerable variation exists in the tolerance of sunflower cultivars and species to salinity. Of course, we can find out certain varieties or certain plants within sunflower that can tolerate salinity better than the others. Higher exchangeable sodium percentage delay the germination and development of flower heads. So this is important, that salinity can affect the sunflower plant throughout its life cycle. Now we go to different cropping systems, and sequential and intercropping systems are available. In sequential cropping system, we can fit the sunflower crop under different crop rotations. So number of crop rotations exist, and also we can fit the sunflower crop under intercropping systems. So let us discuss the sequential cropping systems for this crop. The sunflower crop fits well in many crop sequences due to its relatively insensitivity to photo and thermal regimes. That means it can be grown around the year or throughout the year in India. It can be grown in many parts during Kharif season, also during Rabi season, and also in Zaya season, or you can call it spring sunflower, which can be sown in the month of February. So it is having therefore wider adaptability and good acceptance. The availability of short duration varieties can fit well as a catch crop because it has very shorter duration. The suggested sequential cropping systems given in the next slides, we can check some cropping systems. For example, for Karnataka, in southern region or southern Karnataka, you can see what kind of sequential cropping systems or rotations are available. For example, under rain-fed condition of southern region, sunflower finger millet, cowpea sunflower, these are the options for rain-fed areas. And then for irrigated condition of southern Karnataka, rice sunflower, cowpea sunflower and maize, and groundnut sunflower and finger millet. These are 1 year rotations, you can check them. Sorghum, soybean and sunflower, cotton sunflower, and pigeon pea plus cowpea, and then again sunflower, maize, sunflower, groundnut. So here you can see maize can be taken in Kharif, sunflower in Rabi, and groundnut in the summer season, and then sunflower, groundnut. So number of options are available for southern Karnataka for sequential cropping system of sunflower. Now you see what happens in northern region of Karnataka. Under rain-fed conditions, options are like sunflower wheat, or you can have sunflower chickpea. You can also have sunflower safflower, and then groundnut sunflower. All these rotations are for 1 year. Then what are the rotations or sequential cropping systems for irrigated conditions of northern region of Karnataka? So this includes cotton sunflower, cotton may be in Kharif and sunflower may be in Rabi season, and then cotton urd bean, or it can be cotton mung bean plus sunflower, rice sunflower. This is quite popular system. You can take rice in Kharif and sunflower in Rabi season, and then soybean, sunflower. Here soybean can be taken in Kharif season and sunflower in Rabi season. Then similarly you can have maize sunflower system and then sunflower chickpea system. It can happen other way around also. You can take sunflower in northern Karnataka during Kharif season and chickpea can be taken during the Rabi season, and then sunflower groundnut. So here sunflower is in Kharif season and groundnut is in Rabi season. So lot of options are available for sequential cropping systems. Now see what are the options for Tamil Nadu. For example, under rain-fed condition of Tamil Nadu, ground sunflower is important cropping system. Here groundnut is taken in Kharif and sunflower is taken in Rabi season. For irrigated conditions of Tamil Nadu, we can have several cropping systems like sunflower, rice and then sesame. So, and also in place of sesame, we can take urd bean or watermelon. And then the next cropping system is mung bean, rice and sunflower. And finally, you can see another system which is sunflower rice. So, one can take sunflower in Kharif and rice in Rabi season. As many of the students might be knowing that in Tamil Nadu, in coastal states, in West Bengal, in Bihar, in some parts of India, 3 crops of rice are also possible. So, rice can have rotation with sunflower. So, this is also important kind of sequential cropping system where sunflower is grown before or after rice. Now, see sequential cropping systems for Andhra Pradesh, that is in Telangana and Rayalaseema region. For rain-fed, you can have Kharif pulses, any pulse during Kharif season, and then sunflower. You can also have millets and millets following the sunflower. Groundnut sunflower, so groundnut is in Kharif and sunflower is in Rabi season, then sorghum sunflower. So actually Rabi sunflower is gives very good yield in Andhra Pradesh. For irrigated conditions of Andhra Pradesh, you can have rice sunflower mung bean rotation. This is again a 1-year rotation, and rice, sunflower, sesame, sunflower and groundnut. So this is also 1-year rotation. The sesame or til can be taken in Kharif, sunflower in Rabi, and groundnut can be grown in summer season. Let us see the sunflower based intercropping system. So number of intercropping systems are available. For example, in the state of Karnataka, you can have groundnut plus sunflower intercropping system in 4:2 ratio. 4:2 ratio means you can have 4 rows of groundnut and 2 rows of sunflower. Then groundnut plus sunflower 3:1, 3 rows of groundnut and 1 row of sunflower. Pigeon pea plus sunflower, 1 row of pigeon pea and 2 rows of sunflower, or 1:1 is also available. That means 1 row of pigeon pea and 1 row of sunflower. Then we can have finger millet plus sunflower, 4:2 ratio, 4 rows of finger millet and 2 rows of sunflower. Maharashtra, we can have pigeon pea, sunflower, 2:2 ratio, soybean plus sunflower, 2:1 ratio, and then groundnut plus sunflower, 6:2 ratio. 6:2 ratio means groundnut plus sunflower, 6 rows of groundnut and 2 rows of sunflower. So these 3 systems are for Maharashtra: pigeon pea plus sunflower, soybean plus sunflower, and groundnut plus sunflower. Now see intercropping system for Andhra Pradesh: groundnut plus sunflower, 6:2 ratio, 6 rows of groundnut and 2 rows of sunflower. Then pigeon pea plus sunflower for Andhra Pradesh, 1:2 ratio. Castor plus sunflower, 1:2 ratio. Now see intercropping systems for Tamil Nadu: groundnut plus sunflower, 3:1 ratio. Castor plus sunflower, 1:1 ratio. So these ratios suggest the number of rows of a crop. For example, castor plus sunflower means 1 row of castor and then 1 row of sunflower, and this is followed again and again. For Gujarat, groundnut plus sunflower, 1:1, and for castor plus sunflower 1:1. So these are the ratios for intercropping systems. Now see the varietal improvement, and in case of sunflower we have varieties and we have hybrids also. In general, yield potential of hybrids is more. Generally hybrids are preferred by the farmers. Only problem with hybrid is that you cannot reuse the seed. You have to buy its seed again and again. Every time you are going for sowing of the crop, you need to buy new seed for hybrids. However, for varieties, farmer can use or reuse their seed again and again. So now you see what are the improved hybrids and varieties for Karnataka. Hybrids are KBSH41, KBSH42, KBSH44, KBSH53, KBSH78, RSFH130, RSFH1887, DSFH3, LSFH1171. For varieties, RSFV901, this is again for Karnataka, DRSF108 and DRSF113. Then see for Maharashtra, hybrids are LSFH171, PDKVSH592, KSFH437, which is known as Phule Raviraj, and then DRSH1 and KBSH44. And varieties for Maharashtra are SS708, which is known as Phule Bhaskar, DRSF108, DRSF113. Now see for Andhra Pradesh, hybrids are NDSH102 Prabhat, KBSH44, DRSH1, LSFH171. And varieties for Andhra Pradesh and Telangana are DRSF108, DRSF113. And for Tamil Nadu, hybrids are CO2, COH3, KBSH44, DRSH1, LSFH171. And varieties for Tamil Nadu are DRSF108, DRSF113. And for Punjab, hybrids are PSFH569, PSFH996, PSH1962, and KBSH44, DRSH1, LSFH171. And for varieties for Punjab are DRSF108, DRSF113. So you can notice one important point here, that at the end of most of the hybrids you find the letter H. You find the letter H. So this is quite easy to identify the hybrids. Most of the time you will find the letter H as suffix or in the end. For Haryana, hybrids are HSFH 848, KBSH44, DRSH1, LSFH171. For varieties, DRSF108, DRSF113. For Gujarat, hybrids of sunflower are KBSH44, DRSH1, LSFH171. And varieties for Gujarat state are DRSF108, DRSF113. And hybrids for West Bengal are DRSH1, LSFH171. So here it was the list of different varieties and hybrids recommended for cultivation in different states of India. Now we go to the land preparation of this crop. This crop requires a well prepared deep friable seed bed for better germination, establishment and growth. Soil should be thoroughly tilled to a depth of 25 to 30 centimeter, and subsurface hard pans, if any, should be broken. So it is necessary one can go for chiseling operation, or one can go for disc plow, which can go up to 45 or 50 centimeter or more depth. It is necessary to avoid the water logging. If there is hard pan below the surface layer, then it can restrict the root growth, and it can also restrict the percolation of the water, and water stagnation can happen. So once in 2-3 years, one deep plowing is necessary to break this hard pan. So after the primary tillage, the soil should be brought to a fine tilth by harrowing, or you can do it by rotavator or cultivator, and the final layout of the field be made as per the soil type. Now, breaking the dormancy is necessary for sowing. So, now we are discussing seed and sowing. So, normally freshly harvested seeds have a dormancy period of 40 to 50 days. That means if you take the fresh seed, it will not have germination. So, that is called as dormancy. It can be overcome by treating the seed with ethereal. Ethereal solution can be used at the rate of 25 ppm, equivalent to 40% of the volume of seed. So, ethereal can be used to break the dormancy. Seeds are to be soaked in ethereal solution for a period of 6 hours, washed with plain water and then dried in shade before sowing. And afterwards you can go for sowing. Seed treatment with Captan or Therum at the rate of 3 gram per kg seed provides protection against many soil-borne or seed-borne fungal diseases. So, seed treatment with fungicide is quite effective in preventing certain fungal diseases. And sunflower planting depth is typically 3 to 7 centimeter, although seedling emergence can occur from greater depth in light texture soil. So, normally it should be sown at a depth of 3 to 7 centimeter. Optimum sowing time is given in the next slides. We can see the optimum time of sowing of sunflower in different states. In Karnataka, the optimum time for rain-fed crop is June, July. And for irrigated crop in Karnataka, optimum sowing time is June to last week of July. This is ideal time of sowing sunflower in Karnataka under irrigated conditions. Now, coming to Rabi crop, this was for Kharif crop. Coming to Rabi crop in Karnataka, September to October is the ideal time for rain-fed crop if it is grown or based upon rainfall. If it is irrigated crop, then it can be sown in September also for Rabi season in Karnataka. Now, coming to summer crop, it is December to January is the sowing time in Karnataka, and one can also go for sowing in January, February or mid-January to mid-February under irrigated conditions. Sowing time is there. For Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, in light soil areas, sowing can be done in late June to mid-July. And similarly, in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, late August, heavy soil area, it can be done in the late August. And in Rabi season in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, September to first week of October under rain-fed condition and November month for irrigated conditions. For summer crop in Andhra and Telangana, second fortnight of January to February, first week is the ideal time of sowing. For Maharashtra, last week of June to first week of July. For Kharif crop, for Rabi crop, first week of October. For summer crop, first week of February. For Tamil Nadu, June, July is the ideal time for rain-fed crop in Kharif season. In Rabi season for Tamil Nadu, October, November for irrigated crop and December, January for summer crop. Now, Punjab, Haryana, UP, last week of July to second week of August, and for summer crop, second fortnight of February or spring crop, it is also called. West Bengal and Bihar, mid-January to mid-February under irrigated conditions. So, seed and sowing continues. Plant population of 40,000 to 50,000 plants per hectare is adequate, and for dry land at 50,000 to 60,000 plants for irrigated conditions. Regular spacing is 60 centimeter by 30 centimeter. However, spacing can be modified to 45 into 40 centimeters, and maintaining one seedling per hill is necessary in this case. So, hope, dear students, that you have enjoyed this lecture. Thank you very much.